After talking for countless hours with people that are trying to start their first online course or sell their first digital product or get a coaching business off the ground, I've definitely learned that a lot of you are struggling with how to find your audience and how to position yourself in front of that audience in order to actually attract them to you, get them to convert whatever product it is you have at hand, and help them out by creating value. But I want to help you out with that. Let's talk about it. So one of the cool things about working online is that you get to be your own boss. It comes with a lot of advantages, but there's also some disadvantages to it. One of the big disadvantages is that you can be working in a silo for a long time, and you probably are working on your own, and you don't have a lot of people to kind of bounce ideas off of and steer you in the right direction when you go a little bit off-road. But there is a way around that. If you're struggling with figuring out if you're on the right path, especially within course creation, I have a tool for you. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's ChatGTP, but in case you haven't, it's a free AI tool. It's one of the biggest kids or newest kids on the block that started this whole AI wave that you're probably in the midst of. It has a free plan for you to get started on. There's also a paid plan if you need to use it, but for what I'm going to talk about, the free plan will be enough. Think of ChatGTP as your sparring partner. Think of it as your business partner. If you set it up correctly, you'll be able to have it interview you and ask you follow-up questions to the things that you're right now struggling with, figuring out whether or not are the right things to get started with. And I've created a persona for ChatGTP, and I'm gonna go into depth in this video of showing you how you can use it to find your audience, to build out a draft of a course, have an idea about where to promote that course, and basically just use ChatGTP as a pseudo business partner. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. So here we are on ChatGPT. I really have to focus when I say that because I keep calling it ChatGTP. So beware if I do that, I can't help it. If you haven't created a user, go ahead and sign up. It's fairly easy. You can just use your Google or Facebook. There's different options for it. I've already created mine, so I'm just going to log in. And then I've used my Google. Once you get in there, if you've never been on the tool, there won't be anything on the side here as there is on mine. That's because I've used it already. But to get started, we need to customize the tool first. So we give it a personality of who we are or who we would like to think that it is when it's giving us responses. And we've created this for you in advance. But you will click on your name and then you go ahead and customize it. And then you go to learnershq.com/prompts and you copy the top part here on our customer persona or our course creation specialist persona, and then you go back into the tool, Control V, down in this here, and then you have the bottom part here, take that, Control C, Control V, you make sure that this button is ticked, you save it, and then when it starts giving you answers now, it's going to be in the mindset of a course creator because we've told it to be that, right? So you go back into our site here, and then the one we're going to run in the example here is the course creation one. If you have no idea about your audience or who you should be trying to target, you can use this prompt first, and that will then help you in order to set up the course creation once you figured that out. But we're just going to pretend that we already know. So we're going to copy this whole prompt, Control C, back into the tool. And then before we dive into it, there is a chance, like now, this is perfect. Sometimes the tool doesn't operate exactly like you want it to, and it can inundate you with questions. Like here, you see it's giving us 10 questions to start out with, and it's simply too much for us to sit and go 1, 2, 3. So you can talk to the tool as a person and think of it as a flawed human being, just like us, right? There's things that it won't always get right, and sometimes you need to get it back in line, and just be aware of that. And if there's something you don't understand or questions you have for it, ask it to specify it or give examples or clarify. I do that a lot. Sometimes I even have to start a brand new chat because it goes completely off the rails. But for this instance here, we're going to go, please ask me one question at the time. And then we reel it back in. So what is the overarching theme and topic of your expertise that you'd like to base? So let's say here, for this example, we're going to pretend we are a graphic designer. We want to, just be first, I want to create a course on how small businesses can utilize carousel posts to generate leads. Sometimes if you give it too much detail. Even this isn't a lot of detail in my opinion, but sometimes if you give it too many pointers, it'll just go ahead and create the entire outline for the course, which is okay. And then you can ask it to kind of reel it back. Sometimes it'll ask for more engaging questions before you kind of get to the stage where you wanna, or before it starts giving you the entire outline. And that's what I'm hoping you'll do here. I might have given it too much detail, but let's see what happens. All right, so now it's moving on one question at a time. But beware that maybe it starts giving you the full outline, and you can again ask it to reel it back a bit, or you can run with it or what it's already given you. It's entirely up to you. But what this tool is meant to do is give you the outline of what you should be researching for your course, how you should be putting it together, and then it's up to you to kind of have the knowledge and expertise to make it uniquely yours, right? So could you describe your target audience for this course? So again, as I said, maybe you don't know this entirely, and then you could run the other prompts. So I just click back on it here. So we have this one up here, the core audience and basic customer persona. You could have used that first if you want to be more specific on it, and you could then copy and paste the summary that it creates and put that in here. But for this one, we're just gonna say we want to target solopreneurs. And don't get too caught up in the spelling. It's pretty good at figuring out what you're trying to say if it's not completely wrong. So we want to target solopreneurs and founders who have created their own online tools. Yeah, let's see what it says to that. So what specific skill or knowledge do you possess that you believe would be the most valuable for your audience to learn? So we're going to say I have a unique strategy that works for any carousel post I create. I believe this can be taught to other people if they are able to use it with the information they have in their business. Let's see what it says. Ouch. This can also be something you can encounter. We'll be right back. And we're back. I don't know for how long I'm allowed because I've been very active within the last hour, but we're back nonetheless. So how would you divide your course into chapters or sections to make it easy for your students to follow and digest? So here, let's just pretend that we aren't aware. Like, I'm not sure I would need your help for this area, for this specific area, please. And so here, can you provide some ideas for digital assets or bonus materials that I would like to complement? Also not sure, we're just gonna say. So you can do this, right? You don't have to have all the answers for this here. Just provide what you can, and if you want it to help you, give you assistance, then you can also let it know. Do you have any preference or ideas for thumbnails that could visually represent your course or track from? I want it to, I would like it to be an example of an awesome carousel post, but I am open to hearing your ideas. Could you give me a brief overview of how you would introduce your course to a potential audience in a video? What key points would you cover to grab their attention and explain the benefits of it? So let's see if we get here how you would introduce your course. Be valuable. Would you like to add any specific call to action or benefits the student can expect from enrolling in your course? Give me some examples. So again, I'm just doing this to show you the different ways that you can actually like ask the tool here for guidance on it. Of course, if you have the answers yourself, provide that to it. And then you can even do what I'm doing of like adding to it. So like, I have this idea. Do you have anything to add, right? So call to action, join now to unlock the secrets behind successful carousel posts and start generating leads for your business today. So I would say enroll now and discover step by step, maximize with gain access to insight and technique to help you boost. One sounds fine. You can always come back and reiterate these, right? So let's see if the outline. So now it's incorporating or working on the video introduction based on the conversation. It'll draft an initial outline for your course. So the course title is Mastering Carousel Posts, a guide for solopreneurs and founders. Could probably do a better job than that. Overview: in this course, you'll discover how to leverage the power of carousel posts to generate leads and grow your business. Learn from a seasoned graphic designer who successfully implemented carousel strategies for various online tools. Start with a visually, so introduction to the video script. You tried or struggling, highlight results. It gives you kind of a script idea here, right? Guarantee success. I'm so confident in power. This is what we just said. Outline looks fine. So now we're going to dive into each chapter. You could also go back and look a bit more on what you already created if you want to give it more information, or if you want it to be more detailed in the overview of it, you can do the same. So here it is asking me which specific chapter from the outline. So let me just go back to look at... I think in this case, I'd like you to create a more specific outline of what the entire course could look like, with chapter titles and the content within each chapter. All right, so this is a bit more what I was hoping it would give me initially, but again, it's not gonna work perfect. So if you want to have a better overview, you can just do what I did there and tell it to do so. So let's see here. Introduction to carousel posts, benefits of using carousel posts and lead generation. So this is understanding it. Then it goes into creating engaging content, crafting compelling copy, design. Yeah. All looks good. It gives me a lot of stuff to work on and start, creating the course and knowing what I have to focus on in order to actually have some value in it, right? Does this outline coach the structure and content? Looks perfect. Let's do that. Let's begin. So now for chapter 1, it says that here's an idea, right? So introduction to it, definition of carousel posts and their importance in modern digital marketing. You could kind of work around that. If you want to be more specific to your target audience, you can do that. Overview of how carousel posts differ from traditional static posts and their advantages, benefits of it, examples of these in different industries. That'll be great for you to be able to show, right, to get started. So here, would you like to add or adjust anything on this chapter? Or shall we proceed? Please proceed. And at the end, we should be able to summarize all of this here, and you would have enough stuff to start getting working on. You probably already do now, and it should show you what you can actually do with a prompt like this. So let me just see, did it not do chapter 1, understanding carousel post, and now it did. So it wants to still flesh it out. That's fine. Examples of it, e-commerce, show how e-commerce is for chapter 1, so we can proceed. Yeah, so now it took chapter 1 and it put a bit more oomph to it, which is great. Continue, please. So now we should go to chapter 2. And don't worry, even as you see I'm misspelling here, you'll be able to understand it. And now you're just going to go through each chapter this way until at the end you'll have all the chapters. You'll have an overview, a breakdown of your entire course, of course. But as you do this, what I would say is as you're kind of going through these, make sure that when you're on chapter 1, pause everything here. You have this chat. It'll just remain static. You can always go back and continue working on it. And then you can start working through everything in chapter 1 until you're done with that and you're satisfied with the content, and then go on to chapter 2, right? But for this example, I'm just kind of go through all of them so you can see what will it look like once you've done going through this interview process. Proceeds. Chapter 2 look good. Now we're in the crafting compelling copy, types of call to action, shop now, learn more, sign up. We have some different ideas, incorporated storytelling. It's all beautiful. Does this breakdown align with your expectations? You can say yes, no, go back, reiterate them. But this one, let's just say you get to proceed, my friend. And I'm just going to fly through these now. So proceed. And you guessed it. don't remember how many chapters it was. I think we're almost at the end now. Yeah, success stories in case we're almost at the end, guys. So proceed. I think it's ready to finalize it, as it says. So now we're in the scripting part. So now we've done the main frame, right, or framework of the course itself, and now it's actually moving into like here are some examples of what you could do when you're actually recording yourself. So this is just a rough video script, as it also writes here. So start with visually engaging carousel post example. It even gives you like some things to say. Of course, these are all just advice, right? You don't have to follow this as orders or anything. So if so, we can proceed to refine and move on to the next step of creating thumbnails for your course. So this is purely for the introduction. So let's just say you can now proceed to the next step. So early on, if you remember, we said that we don't exactly know about the thumbnail, so now it's going into detail about it. So since you mentioned that you like the thumbnail to showcase an example of an awesome carousel post, we can create visually striking, featuring, capturing carousel post design. Would you like to proceed providing specific images or elements to include them, or would you prefer me? You come up with something. We have some concepts, color schemes, typography, layout. Looks good. Interesting. So it's trying to make a mock-up, but because we're not on the paid version, it can't actually go ahead and do it. But if you wanted to, you could be on the plus version, and then you'll be able to actually have it use DALL-E, I think it is, and then it would like make a mock-up for you. So additional elements you'd like to include. Looks good. Please continue. I know I said to you that it doesn't matter if you misspell it, but I can't help myself. Continue. So now you're this deep into the whole process, right? It wants you to start recording anything, and then it's asking, would you like any specific guidance and tips before we begin recording the video draft? No, I'm good. But you can see it's very detailed. It's like a buddy of yours, right? That's helping you create this course. So there we go. So now that we started with the recording process, it's out of chat's hands, and it's as far as it can help you, and now you have to start recording based on all of this information that it's given you. You can also ask it to like help you with a script for each chapter. Like basically it's up to you to continue to talk to it as a person that's helping you spitball ideas and just figure out how it can actually be of assistance to you. As I said to begin with, we also have different prompts for different things. So if you wanted to have it help you with lead magnets, you can do that. You can take all this information, you can feed it in like an overview of the chapters. There's so many things you can do. You can also go into where to find this core audience. Basically, the imagination sets the limit for what you can use for this. But if you didn't know how to get started creating your course, this should definitely give you a place to get started. And yeah, if this doesn't help you, then you need to go out and hire a person that can actually sit and be your guide to do this. But I feel like this definitely should give you guys enough information to have something to work on in order to kind of get that first course created. Okay, thank you so much for spending some time with me here. It's dark outside, as you can see now, so I better sign off, and let me know if you have any questions, then put them in the comment section. And I can't wait to see what you get up to and what you create with this prompt.